Nothing we receive is brand new. It's just newer. While brothers drop down to their knees and make.
Welcome back to the Marathon Mortgage Happy Hour. I'm Mike Witzek.
I am Rory Farrell.
And who's our special guest in the middle today?
Christina Krajcsik.
And Christina, what team are you on? I think we've had a couple of your counterparts or colleagues.
Yes. So I am on RLM and Co. under the umbrella of Keller Williams Real Estate.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, we've had Josh on, we've had Emily on, now we've had you on, and hopefully soon to be your husband as well on the podcast.
Kicking him away.
Yeah.
No, it's great.
You guys are good guests. You talk well, and you got cool experiences.
Thank you. Oh, we got a lot to share.
That's great. No, we're excited. I was very excited when Emily had mentioned, like, hey, they'd definitely be interested in coming on the podcast. I was like, well, absolutely. Like, they could always come on. So, so I guess let's just dive. We're not drinking a beer today. You know, it's what is it right now? 11:10.
Peek behind the curtain. Yeah, it's not actually Friday afternoon happy hour. If it were, we'd be on it. But it is 11 a.m. on a Wednesday.
Yeah, we got some stuff to do later. But so let's just kind of dive into you. How'd you get into real estate? When did you start? All that fun stuff.
Sure. So I have been in the business about 7 years now.
Okay.
And it's funny, you know, so many people ask, like, did you always have this like dream of being in real estate? And I was like, not really. Honestly, I went to St. Joe's. I was a food marketing major.
Oh.
So I, went into that kind of corporate America for a little while and realized, like, no. Yeah. I need to be my own boss. This is not for me. So I literally was sitting on the beach one day and was like, I need to look up new jobs. What am I going to do? So I literally took to Google and was like, jobs for people with good personalities, jobs for people, like random stuff. Somehow,
thank God for Google, right?
Yeah, like seriously, came about real estate agent. I'm like, all right, let me give this thing a go. Spoke to a couple people in the business. They gave me the good, the bad, and the ugly about, kind of being in the business. And I realized, like, I just should give this a go, see if it's going to work. My parents have always invested in real estate. I've always been around it. And then that's how, my story kind of started.
Yeah. So your parents were into real estate as well. So I think that that helps a ton when you have that like exposure to it growing up and seeing it. And then you get into it and you're like, oh, I could talk about this. I don't need to like wait a year to learn everything like that. So,
exactly.
That's very good. Did you think that, I mean, I'm assuming, but do you think it's helped in your career?
Oh yeah, because actually, so my very first sale was an investment property that I bought.
Oh, wow.
So I was my first client.
Cool.
I'm like,
how'd you do?
I was
good
pretty
reviews?
Good. Yeah, pretty good. I'd say 5 stars. But that, that was super cool because I don't think I ever would have had the push to get an investment property. I bought my first investment property at 24. I don't think I ever would have had that like push to do that if it wasn't for my parents who said, hey, here's how the financing works, here's how this works, coaching me and mentoring me on that, I think was super helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So definitely helped having, a mentor.
Yeah, that's huge. That's definitely, my parents were never in any of that stuff. I think it was like my best friend growing up, since I was like 6, his family has a brokerage up north, like in the Poconos. He's a realtor now. So like being around them, I learned a lot. Like one of my first jobs ever was cleaning out foreclosed homes, like bank-owned properties.
Yeah.
So like being around real estate growing up made it a lot easier to buy an investment property, or a lot less intimidating.
Yes. Yes.
So
definitely.
There is like this not stigma, but like this hurdle that you have to get over if you don't have family who's done it, or you're not a realtor, or like it just seemed, especially as a young person, like I know at 22, 23, 24, I wasn't thinking about certainly not my future.
Yes.
Not as much as,
Yeah.
What's this long-term investment going to look like? How is it going to create wealth down the line? It's like
absolutely
being able to get over that hump and then being in the industry being like, oh, this isn't as hard as people probably think it is.
Yes.
Like I can do this. Like,
yes.
It's a mental block.
Yeah. And I think that's it too. Like how hard is it to be in real estate? And that's like a whole nother conversation in and of itself. And I think like putting in the work and being so consistent with what you do is huge. You can have a million family members or people that were in the business, but it really comes down to you. If you're self-motivated, if you're willing to be, go a couple months maybe without a commission in the beginning to kind of get yourself up and rolling. I think that that's such a huge thing too. But I think it takes a lot of self-motivation and drive to get yourself kind of up and rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm coming out of that now where it was like the past 2.5, 3 years. brutal years for real estate and loans and, anything involved title. So it's like coming out of that, going through all those like growth pains basically.
Yeah.
And like even Rory and you too, probably you've been in for 7 years now. So like you saw the before COVID market,
Right.
you saw the during COVID market, and then you saw the after COVID market. And it was just like 3 swings in a row that were totally different directions.
Yeah.
It's
All things that were somewhat unprecedented prior to all that.
Yeah. And then even like during COVID, like they shut us down. Like we weren't even allowed to show houses. I was like, oh, this is it. I'm done. Like hanging my license up. Let me go find another 9 to 5. Like that was crazy.
Yeah,
so, I mean, seeing that, but I think coming out of that came so much opportunity.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think you have to look at it like that. Like, okay, maybe it weeds some of the agents out that weren't willing to put in the work, but no, we were getting creative. FaceTime tours, this, that, you have to, I think that's another huge piece in real estate, just being creative and going with the flow.
Yeah, definitely. And do you guys mainly focus like residential properties? Are you investors? Like what is your...
Yeah, so I would say it's definitely a mix. I would say with the team, we all kind of have our specialty. So, I know Josh was kind of on, he's very focused in the investors.
Yeah.
Tony and I, we focus a lot on first-time buyers, first-time sellers. We're very close to like our database and our people.
Yeah.
So that's more of our people that we kind of nurture. We definitely have a lot of investor clients we deal with as well, but definitely our bread and butter is like, our people that we know, love, that, have been with us for a while. So I think that's the cool thing too with the team is, you have your renter specialist, you have your first time buyer specialist, because everyone's needs are so different.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
And being on a team like that is diverse and does different things, it allows you, like if you get an investor client, you can go to Josh and be like,
100%.
hey, what do I got to do here? Whereas if Josh, I'm sure Josh works with first time buyers, but maybe he has questions that you can come to you guys for. It's like that's why we, succeed so well here is like, I can walk into Tom's, you didn't meet Tom, but he's downstairs.
Yeah.
You walk into his room and be like, hey, what do I do in this situation? Or Rory, can you look at this real quick? It's like, it plays a huge part in my success. So.
And it's crazy too. And I actually just was doing a video on this the other day on like, when I first got into real estate, I always thought it would just be me, solo agent. That's it. Never had a dream of building a team, never wanted a team. I was like, that's great. You have a team. And for me, when the COVID world kind of hit, Tony was, running crazy with his full-time job. I'm like, I'm busy. Join partners with me. Let's kind of do this. So then we kind of had our little team and then, partnered up with Josh, and then it just kind of evolved from there. So I think that's another thing too with realtors and real estate. Like you think you go into the business like, nope, I'm just going to be this. And then everything kind of unfolds, the possibilities are so endless with it.
Definitely.
So
I think the theme is you just have to be adaptable and willing to go. Like I think you even said it, like go with the flow or make pivot when you need to. Because talk about how you did things with COVID, where you came in as a solo agent, teaming up with your husband, and then the further team. You gotta figure out what's gonna make the most sense. And to think that you got it figured out at the beginning.
Yes.
It's naive. To think like, hey, I got this figured out. This is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, and no one knows. It's like. So to be willing to say, all right, cool, this is going to be better for my career and my life. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
That's great. And then do you, I guess, as you've been growing in real estate, you said you bought your first place at 24. Have you been continuing to buy investment properties?
Yep.
Okay,
so we are up to 3 duplexes now.
Oh, awesome.
So that's just Tony and I. So we buy duplexes because one tenant moves out, you have the security of the other tenant in there. So we're up to 3. And I think that's a huge value add to our clients. We're practicing what we preach. Hey, do this for the financing, do this, because that's a huge thing. We own 3. We can help show you our Excel sheet with all of the, analysis on how to run it, if it's a good investment or not.
Yeah.
So
definitely. Makes people
proven track record.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I guess another question that I asked your team, and I'm curious to see what your answer to this is, because everybody that I've talked to so far has like a different answer. So how are you going about getting a lot of your business? Are you, because Josh, like I know he's on the phones constantly.
Oh yeah,
dialing.
He's cold calling.
Yeah, he's cold calling constantly.
Yeah.
Emily was saying like she's been working open houses and doing that route. Like, are you getting referrals? Are you cold calling? What are you doing to drive your business?
So it comes from a couple different sources. So I would say the main source of our business comes from our database, our sphere, our people that we know, friends and family. We love on them. We have events for them. We have VIP events for them.
Yeah.
So that is a huge piece of our business is database. So I would say that's the vast majority. Second is, I do a lot of cold texting to promote our seminars. So I run a seminar every single month on a different topic, whether it's on renting, buying, investing, selling. So I think that has been a huge referral source as well, or a big lead source, for me, because that's cold leads that I've never met.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's adding a lot more people into the database. And then again, the seminars, just, kind of in general, getting those leads in. So we kind of have like a couple different legs that we have, but I would say like that's the main.
The seminar's a good one. I think the first time we know people that do them, but that's the first time that I've heard anybody like cold texting people, getting them to come out,
setting up their own, not just like piggybacking on someone else's, like setting up their own and having it like a consistent thing.
That's great. It's a lot of prep, and I think a lot of people think like, oh, a seminar, like you just log on Zoom, post on social media once, and it's there.
No.
Like, no,
no,
we are a month plus in advance.
Yep.
As soon as one ends, we're already lead generating for the next seminar.
Oh, wow.
So we have like a whole system. We do it on the Zoom platform, so it's super easy to get people registered for it. We have a whole PowerPoint for each one. So it's definitely like a system that I've created. Well, taken from, seminar professionals and kind of made it what we want.
Tailored it,
And usually we have on an average of about 30 to 40 on every seminar.
Holy shit. Wow.
It is a lot. So we'll have anywhere from 50 to 70 registrants, and then about, half typically show up.
That's like a giant number. That's a big number.
Yeah.
That's very good. And then, you're like, not only are you providing them value off the bat, but you're also like creating an emailing list that you can follow up with these people, drip on them, see what they're doing. That's a big turnout. Wow, good for you.
Yeah, and the thing with the seminars too, that I think a lot of people just think like, oh, they don't work, is they're a long-term play. So a lot of times,
everything in this industry,
right. And I think a lot of people just want that like quick lead. Who's going to sell? Who's going to buy? Yeah. And for me, I'm like, how can I build my database to put them on some kind of drip or some kind of touch system? And a lot of times with our follow-up system, we do a lot of like just personal text message calls directly to them. Not a lot of like junk emails, not a lot of that. It's, hey, it's been some time since we talked. What are we doing? Hey, I know you have a 3-year-old daughter. We're hosting this event. Would love for you to come. It's just different pieces of value that I feel like we try and offer those people in the database to, kind of
keep them going.
Exactly.
Stay in front of them. Yeah, and I think like personalized messages like that makes it that much better that it's going to turn into something, because when you're spending like drip campaigns are great and all, but to an extent they're getting lost. People are looking at them, they're seeing you, but they're not like reaching back out. Whereas if you're texting them personally, it's like, oh shit, she texted me, like I should probably respond and see what she's doing or whatnot.
Exactly. It's not like an automated thing where it's just like, oh, I'm just another number. Like no, we want everyone to feel like they're like, you become a client, you're a client for life, you're part of the family. Like that's what you do when you sign up with us, whether you like it or not. It's that's how we kind of like to structure it.
That's great though. I think that, and that's why we do this whole podcast, is like for pieces like that, new ideas, and for young realtors to look at this and be like, hey, this is, I'm trying to understand the business more, and like that's a really good, that's a great turnout though.
Yeah, and I do the seminars on Zoom, and I have people on the team and my coach that challenges me to like, just do one in person. And I'm so scared. Really? I'm so scared to do one in person that no one's going to show up. And I don't know why. Because I'm like, if we can get 20 or 30 on Zoom, like, I'm sure there's people that want to come in person. But I was thinking maybe doing like a hybrid. So it's on Zoom and in person. So I can pretend like if no one shows up, like, a lot of people in the room here.
I think that might be a nice stepping stone to figure out like what the live one looks like and what worked to getting those 10 people in. Yeah. And then build on that. Like it's a great stepping stone.
Because I do think it's definitely more personalized. sometimes when
Oh,
they're
for sure,
there
yeah.
and, you know, on the Zoom, it's kind of hard because sometimes like the connection's bad and someone unmutes and I'm like, please mute yourself. Like, it's just
Yeah.
like, it's very hard. But it gives me like, you know, I can do it from home. I know I'm
Yeah.
like comfortable. So I need to branch out.
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
it
that-
looks like once a quarter you do it in person, or once every, you
Sure.
know, half a year, whatever, just to kind of like get the ball rolling and like
Exactly.
work that muscle, and just maybe it turns into something where it's a little bit
Yeah,
more.
Yeah,
exactly.
and you might not get like 30, 40 people, but if you even half that and you get 15, 20 people show up,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that's huge. Like,
Even one.
yeah.
I'm like, listen,
You'll have
if
one.
I just, that's
If that's
my
your worry.
My very first seminar that I did, it was probably 4 years ago. It was a first time buyer seminar. And I remember I texted my entire family. My husband was not in the business at the time, my husband's whole family. And I said, listen, please log in so that it doesn't seem like I'm, you know, whatever. So then I went to friends and I'm like, listen, I'm hosting my first time buyer seminar. Can you just log in so that I'm not a loser and no one shows up? I had, I think, 50 people on the first one. Now it was family, it was friends.
Whatever,
Like, it
though.
was a party. We had music, and a lot of them turned into deals.
That's
Yeah.
great.
You're like,
So-
tricked you. You thought
yeah.
you were my friend. Now you're a client too. You thought
exactly. So if you're looking to do, you know, your first one, just tell your friends and family, like, I don't want to look like a loser with no one on. Like, can you please hop on? And people are like, wow, like, that was so great. And, you know, I think that was just, yeah, everyone kept popping in. I'm like, I'm overwhelmed. I shouldn't have
That's so
invited
funny.
this many people. But, you know, now that you do it over and over
Yeah.
with a system, and we have an admin that, you know, kind of takes attendance, so it's not as like
Yeah,
overwhelming.
that's great.
Yeah.
you get a lot of repeat people coming on month over month. Like, I assume if you get this person to comment and it goes well and they like it, they're probably like, well, what does she talk about next month? Or, you know,
Yes.
or maybe 2 months from now, I see she's doing one on investments.
Yes, we have a ton of repeat
That's cool.
people, which is great because I love it. A lot of people like that, just like younger people like that, just like to say like, hey, you know, I went to your first time buyer one, but I'm interested in investing. I would love to do this. We also do one on like renting to buying, you know, so a lot of these people fit into multiple categories that, you know, they can kind of, you know, attend however many.
Nice.
And then I'll tell them too, like, hey, this one might not be for you because it's on selling your house, but if you want to share it with your parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, like, I would be so grateful. They're like, oh, absolutely, because,
Yeah.
you know, you offered so much value on that one.
Nice. That's great. I love that idea so much. That's
Yeah.
really, really good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But it sounds like, I mean, I think it's, to be clear, if you're a realtor, it sounds like a great idea, but you have to like commit to it. Like, it sounds like you guys
Yes.
really, you make a
System.
production out of it. It's
Yeah.
organized. You can't just throw it up. Like,
Oh,
it wouldn't be
yeah.
as successful. You got to do the legwork ahead of time and
Absolutely.
I can't imagine how many texts you send out to
Oh,
get,
thousands.
say 30,
Thousands.
40, 50 people out. It's got to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's thousands. Yeah, our last seminar, I think it was 6,000 people that I reached out to for the renting to buying. And we had 60 that signed up. And I want to say it was like 30 that were on.
6,000.
How do you do that?
1,000. So we have a text system
was
that
gonna
we
say.
use. So kind of like cold calls, it's like a text system that we use. But again, the thing with that is anytime anyone tells me, yes, I'm interested, I first ask, hey, can I get your email? So I get their email, I register them, and then I say, do you have time to hop on a brief call? I'd like to get any questions you have beforehand so I can make sure I include them in the seminar. Boom, once I get on the phone with them, they're locked in.
Yeah, then you're selling yourself.
so-
too. Like, you actually have a chance to like speak
Yep,
to someone rather
yeah,
than.
because again, when you're doing like cold text, cold calls, they're like, who are you? Are you spam? Are you a robot? And
Yeah.
I always get on and say, you know, thanks so much for taking my call. I just want to let you know, like, I'm not a robot. Like, I'm Christina. I work on a team with my husband. We have a team of 7, and it puts a face to the name, and people are like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Immediate guard down.
yes.
Yeah, that's wow. Very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't think you're gonna start doing this and it's gonna work out that way.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work to do
Long-term.
it. Yeah.
lot of work, which is why like that's my main role on the team.
Okay.
You know, when you talk to Tony, he's events. Josh does a little bit of everything and is very good at the investors and things like that.
Yep.
Cold calls. Me, seminars. That's my baby. So again, that's all I focus on. I come in, I lead gen from like 8:30 to 10:30, 11 every day for the seminar. So it's all day, every day. I'm talking about what upcoming seminar. we
That's
have.
great. Nice.
When
Yeah.
you say come in, I think Emily even led to this. You guys are like in an office. Often.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and that's actually funny you bring that up too, because we used to work from home strictly. Tony and I would work from home. And I never realized how unproductive I was at home until we got an office. Now, we also have a 2-year-old baby.
Yep.
So when he was born, we're like, oh, it's fine. He just lays there like a blob. We're working. We're fine. Then he started to get mobile, and we were on the call. I'm like, throw him a pouch, throw him a toy. Like, oh, no.
Yeah.
And then we kind of made this decision in February, like, he was like 1 and 2 months at that point, and we're like, okay, he needs to get in full-time daycare, and we need to get committed about getting in the office every day.
Yeah.
So we got him in full-time daycare. We got ourselves a full-time office at the office, and that month we're, knock on wood, having our best year ever, but like we are tripled our business this
That's
year
great.
because of it.
And
So-
you're like, oh shit, the daycare is expensive. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
but guess what? I just made that much more money.
Exactly. 1 or 2 closings. Like when you put it into perspective, I talk to so many moms about this that are like, but it's so easy to have them home. I'm like, but you don't realize how, and it hurts to drop him off, like we are up 5:15 every day. I'm very regimented, if you couldn't tell. Like very,
You got to be there.
very
You got to be.
systematized. So 5:15 every day, wake up, take the dog out, work out, shower. I'm ready. We're on the road by 7:30, 7:40. He's dropped off at daycare, which is 2 minutes from the office. I'm in at my desk by 8. Set my day up from like 8 to 9, and then boom, we're
Go
ready.
time.
So yeah.
No, that's great. Your whole team seems to be like that too, which is
Yeah.
it's very impressive. It's
Yes.
it's awesome to see. And I was just having that conversation with Tom this morning. It's like I think even when you're in the office, it's kind of hard to explain, but like when you're in the office and it's a slow day and you're probably not doing much, but you're still like, kind of trickling on things or hey, I could do this or I could do that. Number one, it makes your mind go like, I could be doing something.
What
right
can
now.
I be doing?
Yeah, what can I be doing? And then number two, I think like, everybody talks about karma or God, whatever you believe in. It's just like when you're in the office working, even though if you're not doing something, I think it's building up that like karma of, hey, like I see that you want to be successful here. I see you're putting in the work. Like we'll pay you back. And obviously it's paid you dividends. It's
and it's so funny you say that. And my team will say this. I scream all the time, like the universe knows I'm working. I say that all the time because I'll sit there and I'll have like 3 days where I'm like nothing, no signups, no nothing, no leads. And then I come in and it's like 2 phenomenal leads. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to stop because the universe like if you're having a bad day and you're like, I don't want to lead gen, I don't want to do it. Like, go and do it because that's the day you're going to get the leads.
Yeah, exactly.
And even like this morning, so we had a home inspection for our buyers at 9 a.m. And I had said to Tony, ooh, I have like a really packed afternoon. I'm like, I didn't realize I'm not going to be able to lead gen. I was like, do you mind going to the seminar so I can, get some lead generation in? He's like, no problem. 2 like solid leads I got. So I was like, if I would have like skipped today, they may have found another realtor,
for sure.
So like that I think is the biggest thing. And the coolest thing with having a team is like, we have this little like corner in our office, and like you come in and everyone's just like either on the phone, closing deals. I got an appointment. I got this. Like that's so motivating. And you're also as like a team lead, like you're like, all right, I got to get my shit together and
get you pumped up.
It definitely brings a certain energy. And then it also like, depending on the team, it sounds like you guys have it like we have it. It's like, you're motivated to do better by seeing other people do better. And then when you do better, everyone's like, yeah, dude, like that's awesome. Like you share in the success, even if it's not my deal. It's like, I've seen him in the office every day for the past month, like banging his head against the wall, calling, texting, emailing, following up. And then all of a sudden it pops off and I'm like, I watched that process and it's cool to, it's cool to see the success.
Definitely.
It is. And it's cool. Like, that you can be a person where you're like motivated and excited for other people's success. I feel like a lot of times in this business, you can get so jealous or you can get so upset if you look at someone's social media that's like under contract, and like
this is Rory's favorite quote ever. Go ahead, Rory, take it away.
I'll say it now because you brought it up, but comparison is the thief of joy. It's like, who cares?
Yes.
Are you doing what you got to do?
Yes.
And
and I remember in the beginning I would see that and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I little old me, like I have my one investment property and I'm like, I'm never gonna be like that. And now I'm like, top producer at the office, things like that. And I'm like, if only I could have told myself. And we're coaches in the office as well. So we help mentor a lot of new agents. And that's like the biggest thing I say, like, forget all the noise, forget what everyone else is doing, cheer them on, if they're, getting a deal and things like that. But like, don't compare yourself to them. You can't compare yourself now to someone's year 5 or whatever, like that quote is. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Don't compare.
And so,
huge.
I was like very big on that when I first started. Like, I'm looking at numbers and I'm like, how the fuck? Like, how are these people closing this much deals? Like, why can't I do this? Blah, blah, blah. And then I think like hearing it from you so many times.
I drill him.
Dude, drill him.
Because I was him 4 or 5 years ago. So it's like I have the benefit of,
and it's like
hindsight's 20/20.
Another person had said to me too that I thought was pretty useful was like, hey, look, it's okay to look at that stuff every now and again. Like if you want motivation, like, oh, this is my goal. I want to beat. I want to compete here. But he's like, if you're looking at it and it's making you upset, he's like, stop looking at it. It doesn't matter. He's like, it's you versus you in this business, and that's it. Like you need to double your production, do that. And he's like, and then before you know it, you'll go to check those numbers and you'll be like, oh, I'm beating so-and-so. I didn't even realize I was. So it's very important to keep that in perspective. Like
and especially when you see someone, like you said, you kind of saw it in him. Like when you see an agent or, a lender or something that like, has it. Like, I'm sorry, you sit down with someone within the first 10 minutes, you can tell like you got it or you don't. Like, you just do. There's just a feeling you get. Some people surprise you, but I'm going to push that person and give them extra advice and say like, this was me. This was my story. Like, don't compare and just focus on you because your mind is so powerful and you can get so bogged down with like, just that takes enough mental stress in
for sure.
itself.
You just
like,
get depressed by looking at that. Yeah, absolutely. Also, too, I wanted to ask. I saw something the other day. Is Miranda Aspel on your team now?
She is.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Because I saw we had closed the deal like 3 months ago or something like that. She was the buyer's agent. We ended up working together on it. Like my buyer switched to her. Went well. Went great. And we ended up like working on another lead. I was away. That's when I was in Greece for there a little bit, and Tom was like helping me out. But no, she was great to work with. And then I saw her post like a picture of a closing, and I was like, RLM Co was in the bottom right corner. I'm like, is she on the team now? I was like, that's so funny.
Miranda was so I spoke to our Keller Williams has like a real estate school that has new agents that you can take your classes on Zoom. So every single year they always ask Tony and I to kind of talk about our experience, things like that. I love it. I love new agents. I love teaching and talking. So Miranda was a new, an agent taking classes. This was 3 years ago. And she reached out to me after like, hey, that was really inspirational. I would love to, stay in touch. She ended up going to another brokerage and I was like devastated. I put her in my database every month. I'm like, hey Miranda, what's going on? How you doing? She's like, oh, good. A transaction here, a transaction there. So then beginning of this year, I had texted her and she's like, I really think I'm ready to make the switch to KW. And I was like, yes.
Nice.
I'm like, don't look excited. I'm like, oh, cool. Come in, meet with the team leader. Like, it's fine.
No big deal.
She came in, like, signed on the dotted line. And even, like, the team leader was like, Miranda, I promise you will double what you did here. He's like, if not, I'm taking you and Christina to a steak dinner. And I'm like, oh, I hope she doesn't because I want the steak dinner. But like at the same time, like it's fine. And so she literally has doubled her business in just being here since March. So you see potential when you see it. So I was like, Miranda, I've had my eye on you. I want you on the team.
That's great.
Josh and Tony were on board. So we did. She's been on for probably maybe like a little less than a month now.
Nice.
And she's doing a phenomenal job. Team.
But I had a question revolving that. How often are you seeing like potential in those things? Like, are you reaching out to other Mirandas like that? Or was Miranda like one of those people where like, oh, I see it in her and like she's going to be on our team one day?
Yeah. So it's funny. We like when Josh, Tony, and I kind of like first joined in on this, we're like, we're going to grow very slowly. We're not going to add. Like, it's just going to be the 5 of us. And that was Tony, me, Josh as team leads, Ian, and Emily, who was our admin and buyer's agent. Then we're like, well, Linda, she's been, kind of killing it. Let's extend her an offer. Then we're like, she's awesome. Like, let's extend her an offer. So I think it's with the Keller Williams model, there's like certain downline requirements. Like, you can't just add anyone on your team. You can't just like cherry pick, like, oh, that guy looks good, that girl looks good. So you have to be very strategic. Like, you have to have brought them in the office and things like that. So I would say our eyes are always open, and there are two potentials that we have our eye on now, that are in like our personal downline.
Hey, this is great. We, more podcast guests for us.
I know, right? Yeah. You got the whole team. We're gonna be 9 by hopefully, in a couple weeks.
Damn, I thought we had you guys knocked out already.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, we'll get Tony on. And then I was like, I think there's one missing. Now you're like, there's 7, possibly 9. I was like, oh shit, hold on. I'm like, we gotta catch up. We gotta start.
We need a bigger table. You could have us all.
I know.
We could do a round table, but so I think that we're very purposeful about who we're adding, but at the same time, like, we're looking out. Like, are you putting in the work? Are you doing, what?
I'm actually gonna jot that down. That's a really good idea. Actually, hold on one second. Let me. You just mentioned round table, and I'm thinking, I'm like, what if we did?
Would. Oh, and then do it like later, and then we can all drink.
Yeah, that works.
Then we can pick up all of our young kids, and it'll be a good night instead of a stressful night.
Listen, I mean, that is
that's a good idea. Yeah, even like do your team, and then like I'm even thinking, we'll talk about it off air.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it too much, but no, that works. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Listen, I'm all here for it. I mean, we all, and especially like when Josh, Tony, and I sit down, like we have our like end of month meeting where we're like, oh, okay, where's our finances? Where's our this? But like Josh will come in the office, sit down, and I'm like, we should be recording every one of these conversations, because I truly feel like every time I'm like, there's just so much value add. Like when the three of us are together, it's like electric. It's like, okay, we got this, we're doing this. And like Josh's energy is phenomenal. Like you just want to produce, like you just want to be better. Tony is amazing in what he does and helping us like with all the events and keeping us organized and on system. Then there's me, like I add a little bit, but
great.
I think that it's just like such a cool collaboration that like you come into the office every day and you're like, I want to work. I want to be here. I'm excited to be here. So
awesome.
So I think that goes back to cherry picking or hand picking the right people and not just adding to add. As you said, like we do the same thing. And I shouldn't say we. Tom does the same thing. Where he's like, he's had loan officers come in here and who are big producers and say, this is what I want. This is the cut that I want, blah, blah, blah. Right. And Tom's like, what? Like, you're not going to fit in our office. You're not going to add to the social aspect, not social, but like the vibe, the social aspect, the, just like the motivation, like all the aspects you're saying, especially when you are in the office. Like it's one thing to have a team that's scattered and it doesn't matter like the dynamic as much, but like
you're not going to add to the zeitgeist. There you go.
No. Well, maybe.
Yeah. I was close to that.
I teach Mike a new vocab word at least once a week.
Yeah.
Big business. Not on purpose, just because he doesn't know them.
Yeah. He just says SAT words like randomly, and I'm like, dude, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah,
a couple years experience on it.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, that's why you'll hear me drop in some like inside jokes because we work. If you saw downstairs, we're like my desk is here and his desk is here, so it's like all day I'm pretty much annoying him.
Yeah.
And then so the things that he teaches me, I'll like try and like add in, to show him that I'm listening. So.
He's listening. Yeah. He takes some part of it.
Yeah. That's nice.
But it is important to like have that dynamic, especially if you're in the office.
Oh, absolutely. It does, because we also want to create this like fun atmosphere, but also at the same time, like we're serious. Like work hard, play hard. Like
absolutely.
We go out, we have fun, we have a great time, but like you got to work.
Yeah.
Our team's not going to be here just like looking pretty and, like just drinking, having fun. Like there's so much more behind that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we kind of preach. And we all have families, that we have kids, things like that. And I think it's so important I just sent a podcast this morning to the team. We have like, a text group chat, and it was all about like the 7, types of rest and like preventing burnout and things like that. And I'm like, that's so important. Like, we're all about like, go, 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 go. But like also at the same time, like you need to be aware of like preventing burnout, taking care of your mental health, because like nothing's worth it.
Work-life balance, especially with kids and girlfriends and families. And,
Yeah. And it's like Rory's like an older brother to me, a really, really older brother.
Almost like a father to him.
Yeah. Well, he could be technically. But it's like having that in the office allows me to like, go and bullshit with somebody for a little bit.
Yes.
Take a break for a second. And
Yes.
just like relax. Because if I didn't have Rory here, it would be Tom, Kathy, and Mike probably. Like, 'cause Courtney wouldn't be here then. So it's like, I would just be there would be a 20-something year age gap between all of us. And like, I get along with everybody, don't get me wrong, but like having somebody I could pal around with or do stuff, it helps me relax for a second or like get my mind off of a file that's like really giving me a headache, and then go to him and just be like, all right, bro, I need like 2 minutes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think, and that was one of the biggest things was shifting from like working from home to going to the office. Like me, when I needed like a break, I would like go do laundry or like wash the dishes. I'm like, this stinks. Like, I don't want to do this.
But it's
like,
not a break.
So now, and I feel like it's been huge too, because, we pick our son up around 4:30, 4:45. And like we come home and it's like family time. I mean, it's chaos, but like it's family time.
Yeah.
Like we'll go for a walk, cook dinner, like sit with him, watch a movie. Like that is like that's something that we lost with the working from home, because it was like,
it all blended, right?
Like we had the office. I was like, I need to go work here. And like AJ was like, no. Like you have to have that like separation. And I think that's been something huge for us this year.
For sure. That's great. Do you have anything else you want to touch on? Or?
No, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
Just the fact that you're like not a motivational speaker, but like team leader, seminars, all that, like it comes through in doing stuff like this too. It's like you're very like positive, and people should
very
encourage people to like
about it.
check you out, follow you, log on to those seminars, all that stuff.
And that's another thing too. Quick note on like the seminars. I have a ton of realtors that also register. I don't count them in like my numbers with actual, but like a ton of realtors that just log on to like listen to how I do it. So that's always open for like anyone that wants to listen in, lender, like just listen in. We have like a sponsor system, so a lot of our sponsors like will guest speak on there, but that's always something.
How long are those? I meant to ask earlier.
About an hour.
About an hour?
Yeah, from like 7 to 8. So
not bad.
Yeah,
that's great.
Totally doable.
Yeah.
Do you have a win? Did you think of a win or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
Go for it.
So, one of my biggest wins of this week, real estate related, was one of the cold text leads that I got. This woman was very like, who are you? I don't really know who you are. I said, listen, if you just give me 5 minutes on the phone, or I said like 2 minutes on the phone, I'd just like to say like a little bit about who I am in the seminar and things like that. Got on the phone with her. Phenomenal response from her. She actually has $1 million house to sell, and wants to start investing, buy a new house, things like that. So that was massive, because I've never gotten a lead like that. So that was definitely huge win.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah,
that's awesome. What a great way
you
to
said,
end
it's like just you just never know. Like that one might be the $1 million home.
Absolutely, I know. It's like that little the thing where they're digging for gold or the diamonds, and it's like if I just have one more hit, I'm gonna hit there. That's his business.
That's me with the slot machines at the casino.
Please don't encourage this.
If I just do 2 more spins, I swear to God, I'm gonna hit it. I swear.
That'll be our next.
Yeah,
thing.
that'll be
the
our
round
next
table at the slot.
Yeah, we'll do. Oh no!
Dude, don't get him started.
I love it.
You're gonna unravel everything I teach him all week. Dude, cut it out. Stop.
That's so good. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate it. And if you could, after this, send me the, sign up link to your seminar or how they could register. We'll throw it in the description and put it on the clips
On Instagram and all
Awesome.
that. Yeah.
Great.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming in.
Well,
Thank
cool.
you.
Coming in.
Next time we'll do it with a beer.
Yes, love it.
All right, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Face down the curb into the sewer. The next American hangman sketched in crayon. Gangland on the facade that you can